Well, hello, and welcome to Death Do I Part podcast. We haven't been on in a couple of weeks. We had a lot going on, Labor Day fair and some other things here at the church, but um, my journey continues. I did the pre-surgery test, which you're going to get all your blood work done, and um, they passed me. It's probably the only test I've ever passed so successfully. Um, but I passed the test, and so now I'm awaiting surgery. It's interesting. I had to go to my doctor and get approved, and I did it after. So after the hospital proclaimed you are ready for surgery, I got a call from my doctor who said we need to approve you for surgery. I said the hospital already did, and he said no, I have to. Why do you? If the hospital thinks I'm ready for surgery, why does the doctor need to think I'm ready for surgery? And then it dawned on me. This is why people hate healthcare. It is a mind numbing, horribly run organization. This idea that a doctor has to sign off so he can get paid for me doing a surgery, which he does not do at all. He's just approving me for surgery, which hospital has already approved me for surgery. This is a money grab. It's kind of embarrassing and sad, but this is why insurance companies charge people so much money. It's a bilking organization of fraud, corruption, and horribleness. And it's sad that nobody's doing anything about this. No matter who is in charge, it seems like nobody ever takes on the healthcare situation that is in our crisis, in our country. And is no doubt it's a crisis, right? And people just, well, who cares? Well, a lot of people who this affects. Me for one, right? We're going to get bills. We already started to get bills. They're crazy amounts. Fortunately, people have raised money for us and did a GoFundMe and some other things, which is very helpful for us in this situation. We would have never been able to afford this. Never. Even with, I've Medi-Share insurance, which apparently is having some issues, but I would have never been able to afford this if it wasn't for the generosity and help of other people. And so it's been an interesting situation, definitely a sad situation to go through, but it's really frustrating too to think that the doctor has to get paid to tell me what the hospital has already told me. So I added some new routines too to my regimen. And if you're following along on my medication journey, I don't take any medications prescribed by a doctor. Not that I turned them down. I just don't need any of them. I lost weight and got off all my metformins and drugs they had me on for diabetes. And now I'm a 4.8 in my A1C. And if you're not a diabetic, that means absolutely nothing to you. But if you are a diabetic, woohoo, that is really good. And that's all through being on the carnivore lifestyle, which is just eating meat, staying away from bread, sugars, and all that other stuff. Obviously, sugar feeds cancer. The doctor will tell you that. Everyone tells you that. It's not a hidden mystery. That's not a secret. They just don't tell you until you get cancer. Sugar is bad for you. I have obviously been on ivermectin. I take a horse supplement. Once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do that. And by the way, I don't know if it worked. They're going to go in on Monday for my surgery. And I will ask my doctor, well, we're going for surgery. They're taking out my kidney. And I'm going to say, hey, look, when you get in there, I would really like it if you could measure it. Tell me if it shrunk at all. Give me some information if any of the stuff I'm doing is working or has worked even a little bit. I mean, my dream situation would be they get in there and they go, oh, man, we didn't need to cut off your whole kidney. We only had to take a partial part of your kidney because the tumor had shrunk so much, because my tumor was so big that it had gone through my kidney. So I don't know. The thing of the matter is, and like I've said from this journey from the beginning, why not try it, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, you have cancer. In a way, you're dying already because you have cancer. Doesn't mean it's a death sentence, but it definitely means your body is attempting to kill you, because that's what cancer is. It's a parasite. It's eating your body. It's killing you, right? So that's just reality. I'm not saying it will kill you, but eventually it might if it's not taken care of. There's no doubt about it. But in my situation, they say, well, there's no hope for your kidney, and it's going to spread other places probably. So why wouldn't I try whatever it took? So ivermectin, even though it's for horses, I don't care. I don't take the same amount as a horse. I mean, if I was 1,200 pounds, I would, but I cut it down and do like they say a pencil eraser about, this much. I do 5 notches on that thing every day. I was on dandelion root. Athena was putting castor oil in my belly button every night, and vitamin D, of course. And then I added a new one to my regimen because I'm not sleeping at night. And this is one of the things that almost everybody I know that has cancer goes through, is the idea you just don't rest well. And with my situation, the way that the tumor is, it puts pressure on my back. And I can't find a comfortable way to lay. And so there's a lot of that. I just don't sleep well at night. I'm waking up multiple times during the night. And so I decided I was having a real struggle with energy, and I work quite hard, and energy is important. I was crashing way too early, finding myself exhausted. It just wasn't good. So I found this thing called Methylene Blue. And I heard about it. Athena takes credit for it. She says she told me about it, but I don't remember her telling me about it. But she says, and it doesn't. I can't say that she didn't, because there's many times she's telling me about all these medications she's reading on YouTube and all this other stuff that she follows all these people. I don't follow any of them. So whatever reason, it slipped out of my memory. And I was reading an article on the news about Robert Kennedy, and he had taken this stuff called Methylene Blue before a meeting and for energy. And so I started doing a little bit of research on it, and then I ordered it from Amazon just to try it. Wow, what a game changer. What a game changer. 10 drops and a little bit of water in the morning, and you drink it down, and wow, my energy level was off the charts. It was like I was restored back, brain fog gone. It was unbelievable how well it worked for me. And so I recommended it to everybody I knew, and everybody but one person had a good result. And I mean, everybody. I heard back from about 6 or 7 people that are on it now that I told them what I do. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying what worked for me. And that definitely worked. And it was crazy amount of energy that I had. I was really doing well. And then now I'm 1 week away from my surgery. My surgery is Monday. It is Thursday today. So I'm just a couple of days away from my surgery. And so 1 week before, you're not allowed to take any of your supplements. And so I could not take the Methylene Blue, ivermectin, or any of that stuff 1 week out. And I'm telling you, the difference is amazing. It is crazy how much energy I was getting from Methylene Blue and how much I miss it. But I'm looking forward to, after the surgery, helping me recover with some energy. Because they say, obviously your body's fighting it. Surgery, you're going to be tired a lot. And outside of resting, it's good to get up and move because of blood clots and other things like that. So that having Methylene Blue to give me some energy to get up and walk around and stuff like that is going to be very important in my recovery process. So, but I was impressed, and I got the 2% solution on Methylene Blue. So I would encourage anybody, obviously, give it a try. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, well, you're out a couple bucks. None of these things are extremely expensive. I mean, if you go buy ivermectin in pill form from some company, you're going to pay a lot of money. You can get it really cheap, $10, $15 from a horse TSC or whatever it is, Tractor Supply. You can get it kind of cheap and get it on Amazon for pretty decent prices. You're not out a ton of money. for these kind of things: vitamin D, castor oil, other things like that, sunflower root. Um, you know, there's a lot of things that just aren't that bad. So, and you're out a couple bucks, but if it works, great. Like the methylene blue, I really was floored. I was ecstatic that it worked so well for me. And then there's a thing called Kava. It's it's an antidepressant. It's a natural root that's kind of like an antidepressant, and it's one of the things that is like people were uh, encouraging you to take if you were having sleep situations, which I was having. So it's all natural. So they had that on Amazon too. I ordered that. Did a lot of research on it. It's kind of crazy that it's a drug and alcohol replacement, kind of a mood that they kept talking about, an antidepressant type thing. So I thought, well, I'll try it because it's supposed to be a sleep aid, makes you drowsy. It did not put me to sleep. It didn't make me high, or it didn't give me a euphoric feeling. I've never been on antidepressants, so I have no idea what an antidepressant does. I'm not a naturally depressed person. I'm pretty positive. So, I don't know if it does the same thing as an antidepressant or not, but I know that it did. It made me really, and the benefit of it was not that I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. I did. But I was immediately able to go back to sleep. So in other words, it enabled me to go right back to sleep instead of, staying awake for hours. So that benefit was amazing. I was getting better sleep with the Kava, and it was really helping me out. So I missed that also this week. So Kava, you can get it. You can do some research on it yourself, but it definitely, and maybe if you're struggling with depression, it will help with depression. They have all kinds of Kava drinks, and and a lot of these cities, they have Kava bars now where you can go and get Kava drinks. They mix them just like they do alcohol drinks with other things like flavors and all this other stuff, but there's no alcohol in it. So they do it as kind of like a supplement, because it's supposed to give you some euphoric feeling. It didn't give me that at all. I mean, I took it and I never once felt high or euphoric or peaceful, or like I'd taken a Vicodin and all my problems were gone. None of that stuff, but it did help me sleep at night, or go back to sleep, I should say, and that was worth it all. When you're struggling to sleep, man, being up for hours is the biggest annoyance, but being able to go back to sleep right away is a huge gift. Even though you're up multiple times a night, you're also going back to sleep a lot sooner. So you're getting more sleep. So in essence, I was getting more sleep with that Kava supplement. So I got it in the same type as methylene blue. It comes with a dropper. You drop it in water, take it at night. They recommend you take it all day long, of course, but if it makes you drowsy, why would you do it all day long? I don't know, but and maybe they talked about basically the box says one squeeze of this dropper into water and take it. And I don't like I said, I took the one dropper at night and it did its job. So it seemed to work. I mean, I can't really tell you all the medical benefits or the fears of it. Obviously, there's if you take anything too much over too long a period of time, there can be some serious side effects to it, and anything is. So if you abuse it, you take it too much, too long, you don't follow rules well, obviously, you're going to have problems, and you can have liver problems, and you can have all kinds of other problems as a result of abusing anything. So when you see side effects and they'll say things like, "Oh, you could have liver problems and stuff like that," don't freak out. I mean, that's almost with everything that you abuse. Just don't abuse anything, and you should be all right. And that's a big lesson to all of us with everything. One of the things that they're telling me is that I'm going to be in need of pain medication when I come out of the hospital, and that I'll be on some pain medications. And there's a danger with pain medications because you can get constipated. And of course, after surgery, you don't want to get compacted or other things like that. And so they give you stool softeners to do that. Well, I'm much more of a person that says, hey, if it says take 3 times a day, how about I just take it when I need it? Right. Now, I've never been through a surgery, so I have no idea what I'm expecting. I can tell you this, because I don't know, I have a very positive outlook of it and saying I'll be fine. There's obviously going to be some pain. There's obviously going to be some frustrations. There's obviously going to be some downtime, maybe a couple weeks. My doctor told me I would be unable to do anything for 3 days and then 6 weeks of recovery. But that didn't mean that I wouldn't be able to do anything for 6 weeks. And everything I've read said pretty much 2 weeks you're down where you just can't lift anything. You just don't feel good. It takes that long to recover from having a kidney removed. And maybe that's true. I don't know. I'll let you know. But I will say this, that I don't plan on taking the pain medicines every 3 hours if they're prescribed every 3 hours, every 6 hours or something like that. I'm not going to get into a routine where I'm dependent on something. I'm going to fight through it and suffer a little bit if I have to make sure that I'm not going to get either addicted to this stuff, but also not have it cause other problems. So sometimes you just have to suffer a little bit, and I'm preparing to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be good at it or not because I've never done it. So, but I'll let you know how it goes. But I don't want to be dependent on medication in any way for anything. That's why the journey was to lose weight and get off all this diabetes medicine. And this is why I'm a carnivore, and this is why I do all this other stuff. It's because I really don't want to be on medication. I want my one kidney to last as long as possible. And so I'm studying what I should and shouldn't eat and all these other things because I don't want to be on kidney medication. I don't want to be on dialysis. I don't want to be on these other things. So I need to protect that one kidney. It was sad. I was reading last night that my professional boxing career is now officially over. Once they take my kidney, I can no longer be a professional boxer. So I can check that off the dream list. That was on the bucket list, but now it's off the bucket list along with football, basketball, hockey, wrestling. All of those things are now off my bucket list. I can no longer do any of those professional sports, which I was such on the verge of doing. So, well, there's a lot of things that are required, and I just, I'm not afraid to jump through hoops. Do what I have to do. Life is important. I mean, I'm not afraid to die, but life is important. I have grandkids. I have a son. I have other things I would like to live for. Athena, I'm constantly reminding her. I mean, we're going to spend eternity together, but I'm not done here yet. I'd like to spend some more time with you. There's some things we'd like to do and some things we'd like to achieve. And then a ministry. I want to continue to be a pastor. I love my job. I love what I do. I don't want to lose that. I don't want it to quit. So obviously, I'm going to do everything I can to try to postpone life suffering, right? Now, I don't believe you can add a day to your life. I believe only God controls that. But I do believe that you can add and take away suffering to your life. I've watched it in many people who ignore their doctor and then suffer as a result. Doctors aren't always right, and don't get me wrong. Please don't light me up and say I'm a big doctor fan or pharmaceutical nut. I'm not. Doctors can be wrong. But I can say this, that some of their advisement is really good advice. So you need to look at it from that standpoint too. There's some things they say, change your diet, lose weight, exercise. None of those things are bad for you. I mean, they're not fun, but they're not bad for you. And so, some of these things you can do that will relieve your suffering. If I can make this kidney last as long as possible that's left inside of me, well, then that's good news, right? That's what you want to do. You want to make your organs last as long as possible. And so I believe I'm ready for surgery as best as possible. I have done everything to get myself into shape for the surgery, trying to get as healthy as possible as I can. Lost a lot of weight along this journey, and I'm at about 55 pounds now that I've lost. And a lot of that's, I'm sure, carnivore, but obviously when you have cancer, you lose weight too. And, some people have said to me that I look sickly. And maybe that's true. I have to stare at myself in this podcast. And I'm constantly looking at, oh man, I got bags in my eyes. And, I can see why some people look at me and go, well, you look horrible. And, I have cancer, right? So, I mean, there's an element of that, but this isn't fun. No enjoyment to this phase. But, we're going to go in for the surgery on Monday, and they haven't given me a time yet, but I'm sure they will. I have to start a 3-day routine for this surgery, which includes bathing with their soap 3 days. I can't shave. I can't put on deodorant. There's a whole process to that day. I have to drink 3 drinks to get prep drinks. And it was kind of funny because they were like, well, you got prep drinks you got to prepare for. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, that's Gatorade Zero. I'm like, wait, Gatorade Zero is my medical diagnosis. So I have to go buy Gatorade Zero today, and I have to drink it on schedule by the paperwork that gave me certain hours before each surgery. So night before, morning of, and right before the surgery, I'm supposed to drink all these Gatorades. I like Gatorade Zero, so I mean, this is pretty cool to me. Some people had to do chalky tasting stuff and all this horrible tasting stuff. Not me. I get Gatorade Zero. They didn't tell me why, but from the research, it kind of implies that they take your stomach out, your intestines out, so that they can get to your kidney, and the electrolytes from the Gatorades will keep it moist while it's out. So when it goes back in, it doesn't dry out, which I guess is very painful and very can cause a lot of sickness. So, I mean, hey, give me my electrolytes. And all I got to say is all those Gatorade commercials apparently work right. You get your electrolytes and they show that it restores them. And that turns out to be abundantly true. And so as we get ready for surgery, kind of looking forward to it, see what is going on. And we'll see what God does through this whole process. I'll keep you informed as best as possible. I'm probably going to be down a couple weeks. And so I may not be able to get into the podcast room, or I might be able to do a podcast from my cell phone. I don't know yet. I'm looking into that to see if I could somehow broadcast from home and just keep people informed of what's going on. And I will. I'm sure if you're part of the church and you're watching, we'll have emails that'll go out for the church, prayer requests and other things. And I appreciate all the prayers. I believe those work. So for now, that's all I have. Hit me up in the comment section if you have a question or something I can answer, or an idea. I had some people share some ideas about water and other things like that, and I've been taking it to heart and doing some of the things that people are recommending on this chat. Hit me up, and I appreciate all the advice. I like I said, I'm willing to try everything. If you have some ideas for recovery, maybe you've gone through it and it helps you, well then, by all means, send it out to me. I'll do whatever I can, and I'll tell you how it works for me. All right. But for now, till death do I part. You guys have a great week.